Hey YouTube, this is Mixie Tarot. So I wanted to do a video on the COVID-19 vaccine. As you guys already know, the Polish president and I can't even say president, 45 had a first meet and greet since March at the White House. 45 had a meeting with the Polish president. And something that came up was us assisting Poland with the COVID-19 vaccine. And immediately I started getting, I've been getting the Tuskegee Experiment for at least 2 weeks now. My fear was that they were going to try to test the COVID-19 in the African American community or the Latino community or on prisoners. And then when he said that we were going to be helping Poland, when 45 said that we were going to be helping Poland out with the vaccine, that actually raised alarms for me as well. I'm happy, like, I may be wrong, but I'm happy to be, I don't know if I said the Tuskegee syphilis experiments or not. I might have just said the Tuskegee experiments, the Tuskegee syphilis experiments, but I backtrack. I digress. Going back to Poland and the 45 saying that we were going to help Poland with vaccinations. I could be wrong about history. I'm happy to be corrected, but I do believe that the Nazis had concentration camps in Poland, and part of the Nazi agenda was experimentation on the Polish people. And there are actually some articles online regarding medical experimentation in Poland. This concerns me because it makes me feel like this COVID-19 vaccine that 45 is going to push is going to need testing on individuals to see how they're going to react. And so in helping out Poland with vaccinations, it's more of an experimentation to see what the reaction is going to be before they actually do a mass distribution. I have a feeling they're going to do the same thing in the African American and Latino community and amongst the poor and possibly prisoners. So I basically wanted to do a video on that to see what actually comes out. I got a bunch of decks out. So I have the Guild Tarot, I have the Nature Nurture, New Era Elements, the Spirit or the Animal Spirit Oracle or Spirit Animal Oracle. I have the Talking to Heaven. I have the Robin Wood Tarot. I have the Mixed Emotions. And I think that's it. I hope I'm not leaving anything out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and actually I'm going to use the, I'm going to start with the New Era Elements. God, thank you for always loving us unconditionally and protecting us. I'm asking for messages regarding the COVID-19 vaccine and if there's a plan to experiment on the Polish people, African American people, and the Latino community. COVID-19 vaccine and experimenting on the Polish people. Experimentation with the COVID-19 vaccine and the Polish people. COVID-19 vaccine and the experimentation on African American and brown people. COVID-19. Okay, so I got the Father of Air. I got it in reverse. So if you take a look, the Father of Air looks like he's contemplating. He's thinking about something. He's processing something. And I got it in reverse. The next card that came out was defeat. So the victim is caught up in the web, and the Black Widow comes in, puts in the venom, and the victim dies. The victim dies. We've got swiftness. Swiftness. This is something moving very quickly. The movement. This could be the quickness in the way they give the vaccine, or because of the swiftness in doing the vaccine, they have to experiment on people first to see if there will be a reaction or if there's going to be death, if it's even going to be, if it's even going to work. The Ace of Earth, this always represents money to me. This is falling on the Father of Air in reverse. For me, this is the contemplating of the money that they will receive in doing this experimentation. There's money involved with it. There's a profit. We've got the circumspection in reverse. There's some carelessness. There's carelessness with the distribution of this vaccine. I did get the conflict card in reverse. So the people are not going to fight back, or they're going to trust what the government is actually saying. That's as far as the Polish people go. That's as far as the poor people go in the U.S., the African Americans, and the brown community as well. Got disappointment. Again, these fish are all dead. These fish are dead. This disappointment is the vaccine is not going to turn out the way they expected. It's going to be back to the drawing board. We got the exploration card in reverse. Now, I can take this two ways. If you look at this, it kind of looks like a needle pointing down. This could mean two things: that they will continue with the vaccines to see if it works differently for other people, or it could also mean that they're going to, because it was a failure, they're going to scrap it all together. I also got the Tower. And we all kind of know what this means. Like, this is going to be destructive all around. It's going to be, it's going to fall apart. It's just not going to, it's not going to turn out the way that they expected it to. The success is in the experimentation on the subject. That's where the success is. The success is in experimenting on the people to see if the vaccine will work or not. The success was not, their expectation was not to see if people really were going to be vaccinated against COVID-19. If they were vaccinated, if it was successful, that was great. But the success is going to be in the experimentation and seeing if it worked or not. I don't know if that makes any sense. They in doing the experiment, they weren't sure what the outcome was going to be. So either way it went, it was a success for them because it gave them more data on what they had to change. And again, this is a lab rat. This is a lab rat being experimented on. Okay. Thank you, angels. Angels. Thank you, angels, for those messages. Can you give me more information about the COVID-19 vaccine and experimenting on the Polish people and the American people, specifically African Americans, brown people, poor people, prisoners? Thank you, angels. We got the Five of Cups. Loss. This is loss. This is loss from COVID-19. This is possible loss from the failure of experimenting on people with this vaccine. I generally don't read these cards in reverse unless I get the feeling that I'm supposed to read it in reverse. The Knight of Cups, the love song. The love song, I'm not sure about this one, you guys. This could just be compassion, looking out for one another. I'm going to come back to that card. And then we have revolution. Revolution. Defend the sacred. And the sacred is every human being. Every living creature is sacred. If it's not sacred in your eyes, it's definitely sacred in God's eyes. Revolution. No blood for oil. This, again, has to do with profit. All of these things, like sacrificing the people for profit. Sacrificing the people for profit and targeting specifically the vulnerable, the marginalized. With this Knight of Cups, the love song, I'm getting experimentation in an Asian country. I don't think it's China. It's not China. It could be Vietnam. It could be, it's not China, it's not Japan, and it's not Korea. I can tell you it's not those three countries specifically. It's somewhere else. I'm also hearing Laotia, secrets, the moon, There are secrets. There are things that are hidden from us regarding this vaccine and the losses. Like if there's loss of life when they administer these vaccines, when they first administer it, we may not hear about it, or we won't get the accurate numbers of the number of people who had adverse reactions to it. The Six of Cups, reunion. And this is falling on the love song. I think this is just the people relying on one another and not relying on the government for answers or helping them out. We got the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Cups, emotion that's falling on the Revolution card. People possibly, people possibly, when once they realize that people are being experimented on, if that is indeed the case, once they realize that people are being experimented on, an uprising against the government for doing that. People are going to be emotional behind it. People aren't taking bull anymore. And I'm not just talking about African American people. I'm talking about people from all walks of life. People of all shades of skin. People are not taking any BS off the government anymore. The Page of Swords, the home of action. This is my favorite card. The home of action. And this is falling on the Moon card and the Five of Cups. People cutting through the BS and ready to stand strong and fight against whatever secrets, negative secrets are coming out. The Knight of Wands, the fire starter. Again, this is just like the home of action. The people ready to stand for what they believe in. And you see the eagle. The eagle is on the side of the fire starter. The eagle always represents liberty to me. And the throne of movement. The throne of movement. This is just, again, this is another emotion card. We got the Queen of Cups and we got the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups falling on revolution. They're not going to get away with it. If the people find out that this is indeed what the government is doing or trying to do, they are going to fight back. One more card. This is the coronavirus restriction. People still continuing to be under restriction because whatever 45 is trying to push, whatever vaccine he's trying to push, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. And people will have to wait for a stable vaccine. Okay, that's my read on the COVID-19 vaccine and medical experimentation. All of this is for entertainment purposes only. Also, I should say that I do believe in vaccines. I'm not one of those people that pushes to not get your children vaccinated or anything like that. I know that it's a very controversial thing. I know that there have been studies out there that are not being discussed about how certain vaccines may cause certain disorders or diseases. Again, but I'm still an advocate for vaccinations if the vaccination is indeed stable and good. If it's not, then I can't support it. But as long as the vaccination is good and stable and approved, I'm all for it. Mixie Tarot out.